Let me ask you a question. How much longer are you going to wait? How much longer are you going to put yourself last? Watching everybody else live their dreams while you sit on the sidelines. See, the moment you finally choose yourself above all, everything changes. Your life, your finances, your relationships, your future. It all begins to shift the second you decide that you are worth it. The moment you decide to choose yourself, everything in your life begins to shift. It's not just a simple decision. It's a complete transformation in how you see yourself, your worth, and your potential. For too long, you've been conditioned to put others first, to seek approval and to wait for permission to go after what you truly desire. But the truth is, the life you want will never happen until you decide that you are worthy of having it. Choosing yourself means no longer waiting for someone to validate your dreams, no longer asking for permission to pursue what sets your soul on fire. It means recognizing that your desires, your goals, and your future are just as important, if not more, than anyone else's. Most people never make this decision because they are afraid of what others will think. They worry about being judged, about being seen as selfish, about stepping away from the expectations that have been placed on them. But those expectations were never meant to define you. They were created to keep you in a box, to make you play small, to ensure that you never disrupt the status quo. And as long as you live according to what others expect, you will always feel trapped in a life that does not fulfill you. Choosing yourself means breaking free from those limitations, stepping out of the box, and deciding that you will no longer live by someone else's rules. There is a deep fear that if you prioritize yourself, you will lose people. And the truth is you will, but the people you lose when you start choosing yourself were never meant to be in your life forever. They were only there as long as you played the role they expected you to play. The moment you decide to elevate, to grow, and to pursue your highest potential, you will notice that some people no longer align with your vision. And that is okay, because in their place, you will attract new people, people who support you, who inspire you, who challenge you to be better. You will realize that losing the wrong people is a small price to pay for becoming the person you were always meant to be. One of the biggest lies you've been told is that putting yourself first is selfish. But let me ask you, how can you truly serve others? How can you pour into others if you are empty? How can you be a great leader, a great parent, a great partner, a great friend if you are constantly neglecting yourself? You cannot give your best to the world if you are running on empty. Choosing yourself is not about neglecting others. It is about making sure you are full enough to give from a place of abundance. It is about making sure that you are operating at your highest level so that you can serve at your highest level. The moment you choose yourself, something powerful happens. You stop tolerating mediocrity. You stop settling for relationships that drain you, jobs that frustrate you, and environments that limit you. You start demanding more from life because you finally realize that you deserve more. And this is where the shift happens. Because the moment you believe you deserve better, you start making decisions that align with that belief. You stop wasting time on things that don't serve you, and you start moving with purpose, with focus, and with confidence. You stop accepting whatever life throws at you, and you start creating the life you actually want. When you choose yourself, you give yourself permission to dream again. You stop suppressing your desires out of fear that they are too big, too unrealistic, or too selfish. You start allowing yourself to envision a life that excites you, that energizes you, that fulfills you. And when you give yourself permission to dream, you unlock the ability to take action. Because a dream that is buried deep inside you will never come to life. But a dream that you acknowledge, nurture, and commit to, now that is a dream that can change your entire reality. For years, You have put everyone and everything before yourself. You have sacrificed your own happiness to keep others comfortable. You have silenced your own voice to make others feel heard. You have shrunk yourself so that others don't feel small in your presence. But let me tell you something. Your purpose, your gifts, your calling were never meant to be hidden. You were not created to be average. You were not put on this earth to merely exist. You were created to be powerful, to be impactful, to be great. And the only way you can step into that greatness is by making the decision once and for all that you are worthy of it. Everything you want is on the other side of that decision. The life you envision, the success you crave, the happiness you seek, it all begins with you choosing yourself. It begins with you deciding that you are no longer going to settle for less than what you deserve. It begins with you looking in the mirror and saying, I am enough. I am worthy. I am ready. From the time you were young, you were taught to be humble, to not think too highly of yourself, to avoid standing out too much. You were told to be grateful for what you have and not to ask for more. And while gratitude is important, somewhere along the way, this message got twisted into something dangerous. The idea that wanting more for yourself is wrong, that having big dreams is arrogant, that striving for greatness is selfish. But let me tell you the truth, playing small is not humility. It's a disservice to yourself, to the people you could help, and to the God who gave you your gifts. There are people in this world who need what you have to offer. There are people waiting for you to step into your full potential so that they can be inspired, empowered, and impacted by what you do. But if you stay small, if you dim your own light, you rob them of that opportunity. You are not given your talents, your vision, or your ambition just to keep them locked away inside of you. You were given them so that you could use them to make a difference. And yet, so many people hide their gifts because they're afraid of judgment, afraid of failure, afraid of being seen as too much. But fear is not humility. And shrinking yourself to make others comfortable does nothing but limit your own destiny. Too often, people mistake self-doubt for humility. They think that second-guessing themselves and minimizing their abilities makes them humble. But real humility is not about downplaying who you are. It's about recognizing that your gifts are bigger than you. It's about understanding that your purpose is not just for your own benefit, but for the benefit of others. True humility is not saying, I'm not good enough. True humility is saying, I've been blessed with something valuable, and I have a responsibility to use it. When you hide your talents, when you suppress your dreams, when you convince yourself that you're not special, you are not being humble, you are being disobedient to your calling. The world teaches you to play it safe, to follow the crowd, to fit in. It tells you not to make too much noise, not to take up too much space, not to disrupt the status quo. But every single person who has ever changed the world did the exact opposite. They refused to play small. They refused to accept the limitations placed on them. They refused to believe that they were meant to live an average life. Because deep down, they knew that playing small was never an option. And the same is true for you. You were not created for mediocrity. You were not meant to blend in. You were born to stand out, to shine, to lead. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. Many people convince themselves that they are doing the right thing by staying in their comfort zone. They tell themselves that it's wise to be cautious, that they're just being realistic, that they don't want to be reckless. But in reality, they are just afraid. They are afraid of failing, afraid of responsibility, afraid of what success might demand from them. But here's the truth. Playing small does not protect you from failure. It guarantees it. Because the only way to truly fail is to never try. The only way to truly lose is to never step up. The people who win in life are not the ones who had no fear. They are the ones who refuse to let fear control them. Look around you. How many people do you see settling? How many people do you know who gave up on their dreams, who stopped pushing themselves, who accepted an ordinary life because they thought it was the humble thing to do? And how many of those people are truly happy? The sad reality is that most people are not living, they are merely existing. They are walking through life with no passion, no excitement, no fire in their spirit because they chose to play small. They convinced themselves that it was the safer choice, but in the end, it cost them everything. It cost them their purpose, it cost them their joy, it cost them the life they were meant to have. Every time you hold back, every time you keep quiet when you should speak up, every time you settle for less than what you deserve, you reinforce a belief that you are not enough. And the longer you do this, the more that belief takes root in your mind. Before you know it, you start to accept limitations that were never meant for you. You start to believe the lie that you are not capable, that you are not special, that you are not worthy of success. But understand this, you were never meant to live in a box. You were never meant to stay at the level you are at now. You were designed for continuous growth, for expansion, for elevation. The only thing standing in your way is the belief that you need to stay small. You don't inspire people by playing small. You don't change lives by hiding your gifts. You don't fulfill your purpose by staying in the shadows. There is nothing noble about minimizing yourself. There's nothing righteous about rejecting your potential. You are not doing anyone a favor by holding back. The only way to truly honor your calling, the only way to truly live the life you were created for is to step up, step out, and step into the greatness that is already inside of you. Success is not something that falls into your lap. It is not given freely, and it is not handed out to those who simply wish for it. Success is taken, it is claimed by those who decide without hesitation that they will have it. The world does not reward those who sit back and wait for the perfect opportunity, nor does it favor those who hesitate, hoping that someone else will open the doors for them. The ones who rise, the ones who build wealth, the ones who create impact, these are the people who refuse to wait. They understand that success is not a matter of luck or circumstances, but a direct result of bold, decisive action. Most people have been conditioned to believe that if they are patient, if they work hard enough, if they do the right thing, success will eventually come to them. But that is not how the world works. Hard work alone is not enough. Patience alone is not enough. There are people right now working harder than ever, waiting year after year for their breakthrough, yet they remain stuck in the same place. Why? Because success does not respond to effort alone. It responds to those who move with confidence and demand what they want from life. It belongs to those who are willing to do what most people won't, those who are willing to take risks, make sacrifices, and step into the unknown with complete certainty that they will win. Fear is what keeps most people from ever taking what is already available to them. They look at success as something distant, something that only a select few are meant to have. They talk themselves out of opportunities because they don't feel ready. They hesitate when the moment comes to take action because they are afraid of what might happen if they fail. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple. Successful people feel the fear and do it anyway. They understand that waiting until they feel ready is just another way of procrastinating. Readiness is a myth. The ones who succeed are the ones who act before they feel prepared, who jump before they see the net, who take what is theirs without waiting for permission. Life is not fair and it never will be. That is why the people who succeed are not the ones who wait for fairness, but the ones who create their own advantage. They don't sit around complaining about how hard things are, about how unfair the system is, about how they weren't given the same opportunities as others. Instead, they take what they have, no matter how little, and they multiply it. They find a way. They carve out their own path. They refuse to let their circumstances define their future because they understand that success is not reserved for those who had an easy start. It is for those who refuse to accept limitation. Opportunities are everywhere, but most people don't see them because they are too focused on what they lack. They believe they need more money, more resources, more connections before they can begin. But those who take success know that the most valuable resource is the ability to move forward despite uncertainty. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They create the perfect moment by taking action. They understand that success is a mindset first and a reality second. And until you start thinking like a winner, you will never experience the life of one. There is no room for hesitation in the pursuit of success. Every time you second guess yourself, every time you delay action, you are allowing someone else, someone who is less talented, less skilled, but more decisive, to take what could have been yours. The people who win in life are not always the smartest, the most experienced, or the most prepared. They are simply the ones who move first. They take the shot while everyone else is still thinking. They make the decision while everyone else is still debating, and because they act, they get the results that others only dream about. You cannot afford to be passive in a world that rewards those who take initiative. If you do not claim success for yourself, someone else will. If you do not go after what you want, you will spend your life watching others live the life you should have had. The people who make it to the top are not the ones who were given the most advantages. They are the ones who took control of their destiny. They refuse to accept mediocrity, refuse to wait their turn, refuse to let fear dictate their choices. They decided that success was theirs, and then they went out and made it a reality. Success does not wait for anyone. It does not come to those who wish for it, hope for it, or dream about it. It comes to those who demand it with their actions. It comes to those who wake up every day and move with purpose, who take risks, who make bold decisions. The world is not designed to reward passivity. It is designed to favor those who step up, take responsibility, and claim what is rightfully theirs. Fear will whisper in your ear telling you that you are not ready, that you are not good enough, that you do not have what it takes. It will dress itself up as logic, as caution, as wisdom, making you believe that your hesitation is justified. But fear is a liar. It is not protecting you, it is imprisoning you. It is keeping you small, keeping you stuck, keeping you from stepping into the life you were meant to have. And the most dangerous part, it feels so real, it disguises itself as truth, and if you believe it, it will rob you of every opportunity, every breakthrough, every victory that was meant for you. Fear will convince you to stay where it's comfortable, where it's familiar, where the risk is low. It will make you believe that stepping out into the unknown is dangerous, that failing will ruin you, that success is for other people but not for you. It will remind you of every past mistake, every rejection, every moment of doubt, and it will use those memories to paralyze you. But what fear will never tell you is that the real danger is not in trying and failing. It is in never trying at all. Because when you let fear control you, you don't just avoid failure, you avoid success, growth, and every great thing that could have come your way. Most people live their entire lives ruled by fear without even realizing it. They make safe choices not because they truly want to, but because fear has convinced them that it is the only option. They settle for jobs they hate, relationships that drain them, and a life that does not fulfill them, all because fear told them that taking a risk was too dangerous. But the truth is, the biggest risk of all is living a life full of regret. The biggest risk is reaching the end of your life and realizing that fear stole everything you were capable of achieving. Fear does not keep you safe, it keeps you from living. Fear does not come from a place of wisdom. It does not come from God. It does not come from the truth. It comes from doubt, from insecurity, from conditioning that has been fed to you since you were young. You were taught to fear failure, to fear rejection, to fear stepping outside of what is normal. But think about it. Who benefits when you stay small? Who wins when you never go after your dreams? The world is full of systems designed to keep people in place, to keep them from questioning, from growing, from realizing their full potential. And fear is the weapon that keeps those systems in place. Because as long as you are afraid, you will never challenge the status quo. And as long as you do not challenge the status quo, you will remain exactly where you are. The irony of fear is that it only has power over you if you believe in it. The moment you stop giving fear your attention, the moment you recognize it for what it truly is, a lie, it loses its grip on you. Fear will tell you that you will fail, but failure is not the end. Fear will tell you that people will judge you, but judgment does not define you. Fear will tell you that you are not enough, but you have always been enough. When you realize that fear is nothing more than a deceptive voice in your mind, you begin to take back control. You begin to see that every limitation you thought was real was only as real as you allowed it to be. Every successful person, every high achiever, every world changer has felt fear. But the difference between them and the people who stay stuck is that they did not let fear stop them. They felt the fear and moved anyway. They took action before they felt ready. They jumped before they saw the net. They understood that courage is not the absence of fear, it is action in the face of fear. If you are waiting for the fear to go away before you take the leap, you will be waiting forever. Fear will always be there, but it is your decision whether you listen to it or not. Fear will tell you that you need more time, that you need more preparation, that you need more certainty. It will convince you to delay, to hesitate, to push your dreams further and further down the road. But fear is not a fortune teller. It cannot predict the future. It does not know what is possible for you. The only way to know what you are truly capable of is to step out and see for yourself. Every time you push past fear, every time you take action in spite of it, you weaken its hold on you. And the more you do this, the stronger you become. Fear is not real. It is an illusion. It only exists in the mind. It cannot touch you. It cannot stop you. It cannot control you unless you give it permission. And if you refuse to give it permission, if you refuse to bow to it, if you refuse to let it dictate your life, then fear loses. And when fear loses, you win. Your dream is not just a wish, not just a passing thought, not just something nice to have. It is a calling. It was placed inside you for a reason, and the fact that you desire it means it is already meant for you. But too many people treat their dreams like they are optional, like they can be postponed, like they can be put on the back burner while life happens. They let distractions, doubts, and other people's opinions convince them that what they want is too big, too unrealistic, or too far away. But when you treat your dream as negotiable, you give yourself permission to settle for less than what you were designed for. And settling will always lead to regret. Life will test you to see how badly you really want what you say you want. It will throw obstacles in your path. It will make things inconvenient. It will push you to the point where quitting feels like the easiest option. And this is where most people give up. They convince themselves that maybe the dream wasn't meant for them after all. That maybe they should just be grateful for what they already have and stop wanting more. But those who succeed are the ones who refuse to negotiate with their dream. They do not allow setbacks to turn into excuses. They do not let challenges convince them that the vision was a mistake. They understand that adversity is part of the process, not a sign to give up. Every time you choose comfort over your dream, you are making a trade. You are trading the life you could have for the life that feels safe. You are trading your potential for temporary ease. You are trading fulfillment for routine. And the question you have to ask yourself is this: is that a trade you are willing to live with? Because every moment you delay, every time you compromise, every time you allow yourself to settle, you are making a decision to negotiate with something that should be non-negotiable. You are saying, I will wait, but time is not waiting for you. You are saying maybe later, but later is never promised. There will always be people who do not understand your dream. They will tell you to be realistic, to be practical, to choose a path that makes sense to them, but they are not the ones